Welcome to another episode of Rise to Liberty. So today we are going to do a part 2 to yesterday. So I actually did not get to the things I wanted to cover yesterday. Also, we ended up watching the entire Geraldo special, which only planned on watching a part of it, but just get sucked into these things, man, and kind of just want to finish them. So if you want to go check out the first part of that special, feel free to do so. You can go check out yesterday's stream to go get the full thing. So on that note, let's just jump straight into it, shall we? Let's just get into this. So let's see, let's make sure this is all fixed. No, I had it right. Yep, here we go. Okay, so yeah, we're just going to get straight into the rest of this Geraldo special. And then we'll get into the rest of today's show, which mainly for today's show, we will be covering the Stephen Newberry case. Stephen Newberry and the Hardy Boys. It sounds really innocent. It's not, though. It's not. So anyways, let's do this thing.
Overall IQ, so in a legal sense, he is not retarded. Jesse Kelly, though, it was apparent, is a slow-thinking teenager.
Who was the ringleader?
No, he's not.
He can think fast
No, he's
enough
not.
to do and get out and.
Okay, so this here we go with the pausing. This happens a lot. What can I say? This is one narrative that they went with a lot during the West Memphis 3 trial, is that Jesse Kelly was a retard. No, he wasn't. He absolutely was not. So, you know, what can I say? I mean, he wasn't. Once again, in Paradise Lost, there's a clip of his lawyer telling him to intentionally get a low score so that they avoid him getting the death penalty. Period. You know, it's I don't know what more people want, but he's not a retard. He's not. I mean, he's not Einstein. You know, he doesn't have this massive IQ, but he's not a retard. And I highly doubt he has an IQ of 72.
Do what he was doing down there at West Memphis, drinking his beer and carrying on with the other people. So, you know, it's just like Paul said, in the state of Arkansas, mental retardation starts at an IQ of 65. 72, we've all got some mental ability, you know. If you want to holler that, well, then I'm a little bit nuts, too.
Me too. We'll take a break. When kids kill kids, did the devil make them do it? Take it. Did the devil make them do it? We're examining a brutal triple homicide. 3 8-year-olds hacked to death down in West Memphis, Arkansas. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd like to know, do you feel that your son may have been involved in the satanic cult itself? Because now kids are very impressionable, and you never know.
No, these kids were 8 years old. There's
Not
no
a child.
No, sir.
No.
Terry, you want to say something about your son?
Well, we had a honor roll student, 3 years. We had an outstanding little boy, and he deserved better than this.
Do you ever, Pam, second guess yourself, as so many survivors of murder children do? Oh, I shouldn't have let him out. Oh, I shouldn't let him walk across town. Oh, I should have kept my eye on him.
I blame myself.
Oh, you can't do that. You know that's
well,
right.
I did at first. I blame myself because I let him go, but it's not my fault. I can't take the credit of saying that it's my fault. It's not my fault.
These 3 kids did exactly what any one of your children did that afternoon. They went out for a bike ride in their neighborhood, and they never came back.
Mm-hmm.
For the parents, do you think that justice was served? Do you think that this boy deserves the death sentence, or what would you like to see happen to the one who was convicted?
I'm satisfied with the sentence that he did get, and I don't want them to reduce it to get him to testify. I would rather them, the prosecution and all, to go with what information they do got without him.
We saw the perfect room of a teenager. I'm curious to know, there's got to be other signs of dysfunction that would trigger someone in their mind to say this is someone who's very possible could get involved in a satanic cult. One of my more specific questions is dysfunction, meaning rebellion. You know, you had boundaries for your son. You knew where you sent him. He knew when he was to be back. But to Miss Kelly, did your son have boundaries, and did he follow his boundaries? Do you know where your son was?
Mr. Miss Kelly, was Jesse kind of a hellraiser?
No.
Jesse?
No, he was not a hellraiser. I can hear him.
Who else is speaking? Is that your wife sitting by you?
No, it's neighbor.
Okay. Hello, neighbor. You want to say something?
She's the one that Jesse babysat for.
You let Jesse babysit your children?
Yes, and I would today.
Are you one of the people who claims you saw Jesse on the night of the crime?
I don't claim that I saw him. I know I saw him.
Did you offer to testify on his behalf?
I did testify.
Obviously, they didn't believe you. Why?
I don't know why they didn't believe me. I told them the truth, and that was the truth. I seen him hit out here at 6:30 that evening, and that's where he was at.
Okay. Terry, you want to comment on what you just said?
I heard a lot of testimony come up there for his defense that was not convincing even to me, and I wasn't a juror.
Now go back to Paul Morrison there.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Experts and broaden this discussion,
Kind
Paul,
of agree.
But what about what the young lady in the first row asked? What about evidence that Miss Kelly was, in some other way, to use that much bandied expression, dysfunctional?
I think you could find that. Matter of fact, his own clinical psychologist in several pretrial hearings said as much. And this was his defense psychologist. And the other two, Damien and Jason, I think you'd find that they too come from what is the politically correct term, a dysfunctional home to one degree or another. But so do a lot of teenagers in this day and age.
Okay, Jack Levin?
I think that's a good point. There are millions of people who've had troubled childhood experiences, and they don't go out and commit these hideous acts. On the other side, I think that we, parents everywhere,
100%.
have to know that their kids, their teenage kids especially, are being supervised. You know, it's not that that television is responsible for everything, because we were always blaming television. It's that our other institutions, our families, our religion, and our schools have become
Glad to
weak.
have you here, Finn.
We've got to invest as much in our teenagers as we now invest in the stock market.
Let me take a break on that note. Then I'm going to go to Marcos Quinones, a cop here in New York. Ask him what the big city reality is in this regard. Stay tuned. Be right back.
When kids kill.
We want to hear your comments and show ideas. Give us a call at 1-900-SPEAK-UP. Let us know what you're thinking. We'll record your message to play in a future broadcast. We may even call you to be a guest on a show. So call 1-900-SPEAK-UP. Don't forget, the call costs $1. We'll be right back. Professor Levin was talking about the decline and fall of American civilization with emphasis on family, church, and school. But not all kids. I mean, some kids given the same opportunity, they do fine, like little Stevie, one of the victims, Pam and Terry's boy. This is his homework from the day he was murdered. In math, he got 100. In cursive writing, he got a star. And in English, he got a very good. And now he's dead, brutally murdered by...
What the fuck is wrong with him?
Already convicted, 2 others...
Seriously, what the fuck is wrong with Geraldo doing that? That was fucked up. Like, if I was either one of those parents, I probably would have leapt off that stage. Like, he's reading his actual homework, and now he's dead. Like, holy shit. Get the hell out of here with that. That is insane to me. Fuck you, Geraldo.
Allegedly also responsible. I want to go to NYPD's Marcos Quinones. Is any of this relevant to big city America? Is it relevant to New York?
Yes, I think it is. I think that many children, depending on the lifestyle they have at home and the fellowship with their parents, if they don't have that.
Yeah, Finn is right here. Geraldo is definitely part of the cult. Like he just is. He's part of Mockingbird Media. You know, he is the Mockingbird Media. He was part of the sensationalization of all of this. He's part of the reason why it's called Satanic Panic. I mean, he's part of the reason for all of this stuff. And it's funny, too, because he's praised as one of the only people to actually ever apologize for adding to the Satanic Panic. To me, with him apologizing like that, to me, that says that he is guilty as shit as being a part of the programmers, you know? That's what that says to me.
Family structure will look into something else. I think because of the lack of power that they have, they will turn into Satanism or some other form of the occult. There's so many things out.
Tara Jackson. I used to dig him, you know, because I was a teenager in the 90s and he was interesting. But as an adult, I see you, Geraldo. Yeah, totally agree. I totally agree.
Out there that will introduce this kind of philosophy. The philosophy is out there. My condolence to the family over this situation. Unfortunately, not all kids will kill or commit suicide with the exposure of satanic material, but you get that one child out of 1,000 all of a sudden.
That's crazy that it ends there. Let's see here. So we are going to get to the other case. I did find some other Geraldo specials. So let's see. Let's find one of the shorter ones. Let's see here. Here we go. I'm not sure. So when you look these up, they're kind of weird. At least when you look them up on YouTube, it's kind of weird. But let's see. So of course, exposing the Satanic Underground is like the famous one, right? Like that's the big one that he did. That's where Michael Aquino and Ozzy are on there, and like all of them. But he did many of them. He did lots and lots of them. So it looks like this is probably one of the very first ones that he did. It says August 13th, 1989.
Let me introduce our guests today. They are young, smart, good-looking kids who have murdered in the name of Satan. 18-year-old Pete Rowland joins us via satellite from the Missouri State Penitentiary, where he is serving a life sentence without possibility of parole. Pete helped beat to death a classmate as part of a satanic sacrifice.
Oh, interesting.
19-year-old Sean Sellers.
So Pete Rowland, he had something to do with, the Hardy Boys. So that's interesting. Yep. Yeah, he's part of it. So that's interesting that he's in this. So we can kind of loop it back in. I was a little worried about that for a sec, but we're good.
The youngest inmate on Oklahoma's death row also joins us via satellite from prison. Sean killed first a convenience store clerk, later his own mom, his stepfather.
Wow, that's fucked.
After shooting his parents at point-blank range as they slept, Sean performed a satanic ritual around their bodies. The critics be damned. Devil worship is real, ladies and gentlemen, and it...
No kidding. Good-looking kids who killed for Satan. Like, get the hell out of here. No kidding. I mean, yeah, I guess they're good-looking kids, but it is just kind of a weird thing to say, you know?
Is influencing our young people. This is a follow-up to last month's special ritual around their body.
Okay, so he did make a good point. I don't believe he actually believes this, though.
Bodies. The critics be damned. Devil worship is real, ladies.
Yes, it is. This is like, yeah, it is. Like, okay, so Satanists are the only ones that don't worship? Is that like, I'm still trying to understand like the whole narrative around this. Like, okay, Satanists don't worship. They don't perform rituals. They clearly don't hurt kids because they say it on their website. On the Church of Satan website, they say they don't hurt kids, so they don't hurt kids. You know, because everyone listens to a website, and Satanists are notorious for listening to authority figures. So,
ladies and gentlemen, and it is influencing our young people. This is a follow-up to last month's special. Why are kids attracted to this stuff? How can they commit these heinous acts?
I'm sure
what can be done to prevent them from doing it? From prison via satellite, young satanic killers. Their tragic stories are the focus of this special edition of Geraldo.
Tara Jackson, it's bizarre that people think that people wouldn't worship the devil or do anything too ritualistically because they worship every single thing else. It is weird, isn't it? Like, literally, people worship their phones, you know? Like, try getting a teenage girl away from her fucking phone. Right? Like, it's out of this world. But then you bring Satan into it, and for some reason, I don't know, people they get weird about the Satan stuff, man. Like, and personally, I think it's obviously been done on purpose to obfuscate this and demoralize people. The propaganda has been thick. It's been going for 60, 70 years almost, you know? Yeah, about 60 years. So it's just the most wild thing ever. Also, that was a cutting edge TV back then. Let me just back that up for a second. It's kind of a side tangent, but holy shit. That was
stories are the focus of this special
TV.
Edition of Geraldo.
Look at that fucking TV. Holy shit.
After we aired Devil Worship exposing Satan's underground, we were literally inundated with letters and phone calls from churches, from schools and colleges, from police departments and community groups, asking for copies of that program and for more information about Satanism. Even the United States Army and members of Congress asked our help in learning more about the extent and the diabolical influence of devil worship. Because the issues raised are so troubling, and because the response was so overwhelming, we've decided to take another look at one aspect of Satanism that is perhaps the most troubling, the most disturbing. That's its influence on young people.
So maybe this is after the exposing Satan's underground. I think that's the one he's talking about. So this was after that. Let's see. Yeah, August 13th, 89. Let's see. Not quite sure when the exposing Satan's underground came out. Let's see. I have it pulled up. Okay, I'm not quite sure when this came out. It doesn't really say, unfortunately. Let's see, maybe this one says. Nope, that one has even less information. Okay, cool. All right. So, I mean, this had to have been after though, because yeah, the exposing Satan's underground was like the massive one. It was the one that like, you know, went viral before that was a thing.
Before we talk via satellite with Pete and Sean, meet their families, other experts, let's take a look back at our broadcast. Being into heavy metal doesn't necessarily mean your kid's also into Satanism. And most of these...
Right. That is an important aspect, and I will always harp on this. Just because you're into heavy metal does not mean you're into Satan or Satanism. I was into heavy metal for years and years before I ever got into it. And in fact, even when I was into Satanism, the metal music had very little to nothing to do with it. It did. Like it didn't influence me to do anything. I wasn't like, oh, let's listen to some metal and then like go sacrifice a cat. Like that's just, it's ridiculous, you know? So that is a point I am always going to harp on.
Fans are not, but there is an undeniable connection between obsession with the really hard stuff and the occult. Although Satanism is more obvious in the lyrics of groups like Megadeth, Slayer, Venom, and Iron Maiden. In St. Petersburg, Florida recently, Satanic
Somebody tell my mom that I was into Slayer at the time, still am. Right. And I'm sure you're probably not into Satanism. You know, funny how that works. You know, it's really, really interesting. White Zombie song, Blood, Milk, and Sky was all about spirit cooking. You know, I have a sneaking suspicion that Rob Zombie is, this is my opinion. Let me make that very clear. Don't want a defamation lawsuit on my hands. I have a sneaking suspicion that Rob Zombie is a member of the process. It just like his whole vibe, like it just fits with them. It just fucking fits. So, you know, I listen to Danzig daily since I was 14. I love Jesus too. So, right. I mean, it is what it is. Aha. Yes. Yes. This is 100% correct in my opinion. So you and I agree on this. In retrospect, that was used as a diversion as they worked on hip hop to work it to what it became in the late 90s. 100%. 100%. I mean, if you just look at hip hop is clearly evil. Like, I mean, it is the most CIA music ever out there, and it's clearly evil. I mean, the CIA learned how to do this back in the 60s, right? With the Doors. In my opinion, the Doors is a CIA band. Like the whole thing. All of the members. And I wish Dave McGowan would have covered this more in his book. Not just Jim Morrison. In fact, Jim Morrison, his dad, I mean, we all know the connection there, but what's crazy is like the other members of the Doors have members of or have fathers in the military who are higher ranking than Jim Morrison's dad. You know, it's like, it's just crazy. Just crazy. Rob Zombie's brother, Michael Cummings, in Power Man 5000 wears communist shirts. He does. I think that's partially like for the entertainment value. You know, I'm not sure if he's an actual communist. If he is, though, he can sit and spin on it because communists suck. Let's see.
Symbols filled.
Okay, we're going to star some of these comments so we can get back to them later.
The air at this concert by Danish-born King Diamond.
Personally, I am a Satanist, a practicing Satanist, but we never tried to preach that.
Okay, first of all, King Diamond sucks. I've always thought that. Never been a fan of him.
Religion to anybody.
Bull. An avowed Satanist, Diamond's protest that he's not preaching is belied by lyrics laced with references to death, graves, and evil. Of course, to some, it's just rock and roll rebellion.
Satan has nothing to do with this kind of a concert. It's just an outlet to have a good time. Parents think, oh, Satanism, their kids. It's killing their kids. It's not killing their kids. The parents are screwing up in the beginning. We're the next generation. Yeah. United! Yeah.
Whatever the connection, there is no doubt that teenage satanic activity in this country is increasing dramatically. In Maine, a dozen churches were defaced with satanic symbols. In California, New Jersey, Alabama, and elsewhere, police have found inverted crosses and the remains of mutilated animals. But by far the most frightening of all are the reports of teenagers killing other kids in Satan's name. Item, Douglas County, Georgia.
I'm sorry for you, young lady, and I sentence you to a term of life in prison. I'm sorry for you, and I wish you good luck. Remove her from the courtroom, Mr. Sheriff.
17-year-old Melissa Ernest and two other teenage members of her coven admitted drinking her 15-year-old victim's blood, then dancing around her still warm body. Now,
okay, that is insane. Like, holy shit. And then she has the balls to sit and cry like that. Get the fuck out of here. Get her the hell out of my courtroom. I don't blame the judge one little bit.
Listen to this report from a small town in Maine.
Yesterday's conviction of Scott Waterhouse for the murder of 12-year-old Giselle Cody may finally bring an end to talk of a satanic cult in the town.
Item, Long Island, New York. Police arrest 17-year-old Ricky Casso for the...
Okay, Ricky Casso, very clearly a whole satanic thing going on there. I mean, the drugs, the LSD, I believe there was speed involved. Once again, I mean, the reason why like heavy metal's tied to this is because his famous like his booking photo, his mugshot, that was the word. Yes, aka the Acid King, 100%. Yeah, Ricky Casso, very clearly a whole satanic thing. The only reason heavy metal is tied to him in the first place is because of his mugshot photo where he's wearing an AC/DC shirt. It's like, that's just crazy. And I guarantee he probably wasn't listening to a whole lot of music in general. I mean, the dude was homeless. So, you know, I don't know. It's crazy. I'm sure he liked it though. It's hard not to like it. It really is. Let's see. Okay, so just real quick. Hip hop is not evil. Rap might be that. Definitely. I was there on both of those scenes in a very real way as a fan, as a kid, into an adult, and logic and reason tells me for sure. So first of all, even though I am a metalhead through and through, I do enjoy some hip hop and do enjoy some rap. I mean, just for the record, I am literally wearing a Tupac t-shirt. So, you know, I do enjoy some of this stuff. But it's just like metal. And what I mean by that is that not everyone is going to be satanic. Not everyone's going to be evil. But for instance, all you have to do is just like look at the hip hop and the rap that came out of Memphis in the 90s, the early 2000s, all of the horrorcore, right? Like that's all of that stuff is blatantly satanic. And they said they did that on purpose. I mean, hell, 3-6 Mafia, 3 6s, 3-6. So let's see. It is all the gangster rap in the 90s, the violence that generated energy harvest like a motherfucker. Exactly. I mean, all of that started, like, let's be 100% honest on this. Where that all started was with NWA. NWA, 100% a CIA band, just like the Doors. I don't know why that was escaping me for a moment. Salem movie from Rob Zombie made me feel like there's a lot of process symbology. Right. The Lords of Salem. Great movie. In fact, probably my favorite movie he's ever made, because I think it's genuinely himself. Like, he's not trying to be somebody else. He's just himself when he made that movie. But that movie is evil as shit. Like, he put some weird shit into that movie for sure. Like, and it's all like centered around like black metal and stuff. It's fucking wild. Yeah, gangster rap was CIA music because the rappers were anything but gangsters in reality. Total fabrication actors. 100%. Even Ice Cube, in his rock and roll speech, said music is a spirit and it's not God's spirit. That's for sure. Man, I'm a huge fan of Ice Cube. Big fan of his. Most Christian denominations are death cults, same as Islam and Judaism. The only way out is in. The kingdom of heaven is within. I do agree with that. I don't know if I would say most. I would say a lot, though. Especially like those televangelists. Man, those guys. I was just watching some Kenneth Copeland and Joel Osteen stuff the other day. Man, their churches, like, I don't know how anyone walks into their churches and sits there and says, yeah, no, this is great. Totally. You know, it's just wild. Let's see. Okay, let's get back to this.
Actual murder of 15-year-old Gary Lowers. Casso gouged out his victim's eyes. As we've seen, the level of violence in these crimes committed in Satan's name is often appalling and savage, brutal enough to shock even hardened police officers. Detective Paul Hart thought he had seen everything. Then this veteran New Jersey officer saw how a suburban teenager murdered and mutilated his own mother. Just barely 14 years old, Tommy Sullivan had written this contract with the devil before he butchered his mother with his Boy Scout knife. The murder took place in the basement of the Sullivan family home.
Tommy died as brutally as his mother did, but at his own hands.
What did Tommy then manage to do to himself? What wounds did he inflict on himself to kill himself?
His first self-inflicted wounds were a series of wounds to his wrists. And after doing that, he literally slit his throat from ear to ear with his 3.5-inch knife from the windpipe all the way back to the spinal column, and to the point of almost taking his head off.
Late one night last December, 4 teenagers who had been dabbling in Satanism carried baseball bats, a cat, and a length of rope to an isolated spot near their small town here in Missouri. By the time the night was over, the cat had been mutilated and one of the boys beaten to death by the other 3, who then dumped his body in a well. One of the kids who did it, Pete Rowland, is now serving life sentence without parole here at this maximum security facility in Fulton, Missouri. The other 2 boys, his classmates, were also sentenced to life.
It basically started out like with the killing of animals. Then there's always the heavy metal music, and drugs don't help.
The boy deceived was 19-year-old Stephen Newberry, who then took the first of some 70 blows as his classmates swung their baseball bats.
You hit him? Yes. In the head? Yes. How many times? A lot.
The devil double-crossed you?
Yes. It just leads to your own destruction.
There were some things that I saw that I feel like I should have paid attention to. I saw the album covers, and they're hideous. I just assumed that if they sell it, it's got to be okay. I assumed it was a passing phase. I had my things when I was that age. I assumed that he had his. I assumed wrong.
Here is the lady who made that fatal assumption. This is Penny.
Yeah, I'm not. So I used to be a huge black metal fan. Used to love the hell out of it. I'm not into it much anymore. I can't do it. Not a big fan. Let's see. I listen to punk rock, metal, and all kinds of hip hop and progressive rock. Can't do the progressive rock. Not a big fan. Not a big fan. Phil from Pantera is great, in my opinion. I know he gets a lot of blowback for a lot of dumb shit, but I'm still a fan. I am so sick of hearing about Snoop Dogg, and I agree. He is a sellout piece of shit. Complete sellout. Yeah, anything that Rick Rubin touches, Rick Rubin, member of the Process Church, by the way, anything he touches is has stink of the process on it.
Penny Bayard, she is Pete Rowland's mom. Pete, as you have just heard, is doing time for the satanic murder of his classmate, Stephen Newberry. Penny, do you want to say hello to Pete?
Hi.
Hello, Mom.
Yes.
Right. I did a lot of drugs in high school, listened to heavy metal, and liked D&D, I assume is what you mean. Never did any of that shit. Makes me wonder what was really going on in those kids' lives. Right. I mean, I've done quite a bit of drugs. I've listened to heavy metal. Hell, I was a Satanist for 10 years, and I still didn't go out and kill somebody. So it's like, I don't know, man. It's just wild. It's just wild. And yeah, Snoop, total mega sellout. And I'm just sick of fucking seeing him. He's everywhere. He is literally everywhere. And I'm sick of seeing him. I'm sick of his music. I just have no fucking interest. I hung out with Vinnie Paul and met Dimebag at different times. They were both nice. Yeah, I bet. I've heard that's yeah. I've heard that about those guys. They were great. I love Pantera. Absolutely love Pantera. Not a big fan of Damage Plan though. That night I hung out with Vinnie Paul. No drugs or alcohol, no sex, just a computer and my best friend being nerds. LOL. Phil was somewhere in his own area. Yeah, I bet. I mean, Phil, he's different now, but back then, Right. Process is OTO, culture credentialist. John Lennon was Process for sure. He was also a piece of shit too. I was always a fan of George Harrison if I had to choose out of those four.
A tragic way to meet. I'm going to be talking to Pete, but let me ask you, Penny, what changes did you see in your son as he began this descending spiral into devil worship, into this satanic stuff?
Well, I think mostly what I noticed was, like I said before, he avoided us as a family. He didn't want to be around us. I think back and I remember times where I would come home and fix dinner. He would come home, go to his room, and when my husband and I were through eating and had left the kitchen, then he would come eat and then go back to his room. He avoided us. That's, it was, no more family life. His friends didn't come around anymore.
I look at your boy. I look at your son. I mean, he seems so normal. I mean, a good-looking kid, a kid that you would assume had everything going for him, that had everything to live for. And yet he kills.
Once again, there goes
Newberry.
Geraldo with that shit. Look at how great. Like, this kid had everything going for him, and look at him. Look where he is. Man, Geraldo just has a fucking way about him.
The first time you heard that your son had committed this literally diabolical act, did you believe it?
Yes, but I was mad at him because I knew that he knew right from wrong.
Pete, do you think that you did, at the stage you killed Steve Newberry, know right from wrong?
Well, I wanted to do bad. Because of my beliefs.
How do you explain, Pete, to your mom sitting here, to the studio audience, to the millions of people watching, how a kid like you could commit an act as brutal, as savage, as uncaring as the murder of your buddy? I mean, how do you explain that? Why did you do this?
Well, there's no really way that you can explain it. I really never felt good about myself, low self-esteem, and things that I seen in the Satanism. I thought I'd get power and popularity, and I felt like I had a place of belonging in life.
That Satanism made you belong?
Yeah.
Mom?
The question I asked him one day was, and this was long after the trial and everything, I didn't discuss it with him for a long time. And I asked him how he could kill a friend. And he told me that he had no regard for his life. He had no regard for Stephen's life. And Stephen was involved in this also. He said he knew.
Yes, 100%. Yoko was 100% John Lennon's handler. She was the one that got him back into drugs, specifically LSD. So at some point in time, we're going to be going through, we're going to get to all of the drug aspects of MK Ultra and all of this. Let's see. Need to highlight some of this so I know exactly. Let's see. Rolling Stones were targeted. SDS leaders battle infiltrators and increasing psychedelics. Jimi Hendrix drugged and murdered. Assassination of Fred Hampton. Damn it, where is this? Damn it. So there's this part in this book. Let's see, where the hell is this? Damn it. Let's see. Britain does UN members. So some British spies doses UN members and controls Timothy Leary. Elvis was enlisted and drugged. Where the hell is this? I'll have to keep looking for this. FBI asset gives Jagger his first LSD hit and then frames the Stones. Beatles promote acid before stopping use. Right there. Let's see, 129. So a dentist doses beetles. This is some interesting stuff. In Great Britain, British MI6 and the Tavistock Institute worked with psychiatrists in a program similar to MKUltra. It allowed psychiatrists in England to experiment freely with acid during the 1950s and 60s, dosing up to 1,500 patients. Their findings were that acid tended to induce schizophrenia only in those predisposed to it. More than 50 of those induced schizophrenic patients disagreed and sued them. While the result of that case is unknown, the U.S. government paid $750,000 to each of 9 patients to settle a similar case, and the Canadian government has also paid dozens of compensation claims. Let's see. Let's see, where is his name? Okay. British propaganda agent Michael Hollingshed, a top man in the British-American Cultural Exchange, had given Timothy Leary his first acid hits. Let's see. Similar to top MKUltra LSD distributors, Hollingshed purported benevolent motives for distributing acid, but his dosing of UN officials without their knowledge was in line with MKUltra's leftist hit list. Before the end of 1965, Hollingshed started the World Psychedelic Center in the fashionable Kings Road district of London, where LSD dipped fingers of bread were handed out with as much as today's supermarkets offer free samples of cookies or salad dressings. Throughout the 1960s, Hollingshed brought well-known psychiatrists to the center, along with famous artists and musicians, including Ian Somerville and filmmaker Roman Polanski, along with musicians Donovan, Eric Clapton, Paul McCartney, and the Rolling Stones. Let's see. In 1964, John Lennon continued his antics when first touring America. A reporter asked, would you sing something now? And Lennon responded, we need cash first. The reporter continued, how do you account for your success? Lennon quipped, a good press agent. Well, that's probably true. A second reporter asked, when do you rehearse? Lennon replied, we don't. Paul McCartney chimed in, yeah, of course we do. Lennon injected, Paul does, we don't. On that tour, Lennon also made a political statement by publicly refusing to play segregated Southern concerts. Despite skipping those shows, the Beatles accounted for 85% of all American singles record sales that year. That's insane. With Lennon's actions and stardom, U.S. and British intelligence surely hid early documents in their closely kept file on Lennon, when they later revealed only a few hundred pages. Psychiatrists had already prescribed Lennon amphetamines and barbiturates. Lennon said he had been on one drug or another since Hamburg and had rarely faced the world straight. It is likely British intelligence knew this, perhaps even been involved in it the way it was suspected regarding Elvis, leading them to think Lennon might accept LSD. In early 1965, Lennon's Beatles bandmate George Harrison was a patient of a young dentist named John Riley. On a February night in 1965, Dr. Riley had his patient Harrison and John Lennon over for dinner. The two Beatles came with their partners to Riley's house in Hyde Park Square, London. George's girlfriend, model Patty Boyd, described the situation, saying they knew Riley quite well and had been to a few clubs with him in the past. The 24-year-old Lennon came with a 25-year-old wife, Cynthia. John Riley's 21-year-old Playboy Club employee girlfriend escorted the Beatles pair and their partners into Riley's candlelit dining room. Once seated, Cynthia Lennon, who also described the incident, noticed 4 cubes of sugar arranged along the mantelpiece. After finishing their meals, Patty Boyd said that we had a lovely meal, but needed to leave to catch a friend's band. As we prepared to leave, Riley's girlfriend jumped to her feet and said, "You haven't had any coffee yet." "It's ready. I've made it, and it's delicious." The 4 stayed and drank coffee, and then Lennon said, "We must go now. Our friends are going to be on soon. It's their first night." "You can't leave," Riley said. "What are you talking about, Lennon? You've just had LSD. It was in the coffee." Lennon erupted. "How dare you fucking do this to us?" "Do what?" asked Harrison and Boyd, not knowing what LSD was. "It's a drug," said Lennon, with his hand on his head, very distraught, as he nor any of the Beatle band members had ever tried the drug before. As the drug began taking effect, they all felt strongly they had to get out of there. John Riley said they couldn't leave. Riley then insisted on driving. The 4 ignored Riley and got into their car, which looked like it was shrinking. Oh, God. All the way to the club, the car felt smaller and smaller. And by the time we arrived, we were completely out of it, said Patty Boyd. The club was on the upper floor, Boyd continued, and we thought the lift was on fire because there was a little red light inside. As the doors opened, we crawled out and bumped into Mick Jagger, Marilyn Faithfull, and Ringo Starr, the Beatles drummer. John told them we had been spiked. Boyd said that hours later they decided to go home. This time, George drove at no more than 10 miles an hour, but it felt like 1,000 miles an hour. It was very frightening, and we never spoke to the dentist again. Absolutely insane that it was a dentist that spiked the Beatles the very first time. Let's see. American musicians and others tried to influence the Beatles to use more LSD. British propaganda agent Michael Hollingshed had brought to England 300 copies of the psychedelic experience, a manual based on the Tibetan Book of the Dead by Timothy Leary. Let's see. Let's see. Here we go. When Beatles members and others got tired of acid, the media appeared to give that little attention. George Harrison reportedly stopped taking LSD after his first visit to San Francisco in August 1967. While he was there, he visited Haight-Ashbury, where Head shops openly sold drug paraphernalia. Grateful Dead and Jefferson Airplane lived in old Victorian houses on neighboring streets. Harrison walked down Haight Street and was flocked by brain-damaged hippies who behaved as if he was a prophet sent from heaven. Harrison said it disgusted him and changed his mind about LSD, deciding to stay away from it. I bet it did. I bet it did. Can you even imagine what the streets of San Francisco were back in the late 60s? I bet it was crazy. Yeah, Timothy Leary actually did take he took payment from the CIA directly, and he admitted to it. You can actually find it. You can actually find an interview with Alex Constantine. I think that's who it is. You can find an interview with Alex Constantine and Timothy Leary, or maybe it was somebody that Alex knew or something. But anyways, Timothy Leary admits that he was taking paychecks directly from the CIA. So yeah, he totally did. Dana, what's up? Dana, glad to see you here. Yes, lots of patchoulis. Lots of patchouli Julies. Yeah, no, 100%. I bet San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury in the late 60s was awful. I bet it smelled terrible and just so many drug-addled fucking retards. It would have been awful. Anyways, let's see here. So to finish what I was talking about here, Yoko being John's handler was the whole point of this. In December 1970, or in a December 1970 interview with Rolling Stone magazine, publisher Jan Warner, Lennon described some of his history with LSD. He described himself as becoming cracked on it and unstable. He said this was especially true in comparison to Paul McCartney, who he said is a bit more stable than George and I. I think LSD profoundly shocked him and Ringo. I think maybe they regret it. Lennon also said he started having many bad trips. Jesus Christ, I stopped taking it because of that. I just couldn't stand it. Later, a friend and publicist, Derek Taylor, along with Lennon's second wife, Yoko Ono, convinced him acid was okay to use again. Great. Why would they do that? Well, because they fucking glow, that's why. John Lennon's LSD use caused him many problems. He had become irrational enough to consider tray panning, or fucking drilling the hole in your head. Tray panning. Tray panning. Drilling a hole in his head to expand his consciousness. John Lennon also said he thought he was losing his mind. Lennon would later make negative comments about the LSD culture. He talked about the Tibetan Book of the Dead, an LSD tripping guide by Timothy Leary, as that dumb Leary book. So, I mean, he was trying to get sober off of LSD, and I imagine probably everything else they had him going on. And, I mean, Yoko Ono and his publisher, Derek, brought him right back into it. I mean, it's crazy. Just crazy. Linda was Paul's handler as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%. I love Army of Darkness. It's such a great movie. Yeah, totally. Anyways, so yeah, Yoko Ono is totally John Lennon's handler. I mean, that's just the way that it is. Anyways, at some point in time, the book I was just reading from, we're gonna get through all of that at some point. Although we're not gonna start at the beginning. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to get. There's a project going on. It's called "Who Killed Kurt," and so we're gonna start with the murder of Kurt Cobain, because let's not fool ourselves. He was murdered. We're going to start with the murder of Kurt Cobain and kind of work our way all the way through all of that. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Anyways, that's where we're going to start with that stuff. We're going to hit all the drug angles with the music scene, and of course talk about all the mind control, the MK Ultra, everything like that. But because Yoko was a honeypot who was doing porn in New York City. Ew. with the female version of Michael Thieves. Oh God, I bet that is just awful. Anyone ever listen to her sing? Like, or like that time she was up on stage with John Lennon and Chuck Berry, which, you know, John Lennon and Chuck Berry weren't necessarily good people or whatever, but holy good God, her singing, if you can call it that, you know, it's just, I don't even know. But there's this one. Oh yes, here it is. I'm sorry, I got to subject you guys to this. I am going to turn it down though. So this is allegedly art. This is allegedly art. I don't know, you know. You mean her screaming? Yeah, well, hold on. Let's let the people find out for themselves. This is art. I think that's enough. I think that's enough. We get the point. Yeah, my good God. My good God. Bearing toned wards 7008. Not sure what's going on with you. But yeah, I'm gonna just put you in timeout there, bud. Sorry, just not gonna deal with that sort of crazy shit here. So, oh, interesting. I actually didn't notice that. Yeah, the round glasses. I don't know if they're exactly round, but that is interesting. That is very interesting. I didn't really notice that. Anyways, yeah, we're not going to keep watching that. We're actually going to get back on track to yeah, Huggy Bear, you saw that? That was a super weird comment. You You know, I'm surprised shit like that doesn't happen more. It doesn't, which is wild to me. Since Dana is here, you know, I've been I love your comment, by the way, Dana. When a honeypot screams, an angel loses its wings. It's totally true. You know, but speaking of Dana, I've been in her chats before when she's doing shows, and I mean, the haters come out of nowhere and they come in force. I don't know if they just miss my channel or like what. I just don't quite have the issue with them yet, I assume, because as my channel grows and gets more and more views, yeah, right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Oh, just wait. Right. I think a lot of them just don't know I'm here yet. That's all. But yeah, that was an incredibly strange. Anyways, I'm going to have to find me some mods. So anybody out there, any regular viewers that are interested in being YouTube mods, then you got the bots. Right. Right. Yeah, if anyone out there is interested in being a YouTube mod, message me on X or something. We'll figure something out. Because I could use some help, and I'm sure it's coming. I'm sure it is coming. So anyways, let's get back on track, back to this weird-ass Geraldo thing. When it starts, it won't stop. They're psychotic. Yeah, I know. I've been in your chat, and it's wild, out of nowhere. I mean, I've been following you for like a super long time. And I remember back when your streams didn't have them. And then, right, all of a sudden, that you just had them out of nowhere. And then they were there and on every stream. And it was just like unstoppable. It was crazy. So yeah, I'm sure my time is coming.
Stephen had no regard for life or his own life, so it seemed.
For everyone just getting here, we were watching the Geraldo from Prison Young Devil Worshippers from August 13th, 1989. This was the second part to his famous, his super famous devil worship exposing Satan's underground, like the one that went super viral. This is the part 2, I guess, for his big series. Excuse me. And so anyways, that's what we're watching, and they're talking about the Stephen Newberry case right now. They're actually talking to I can't remember this woman's name, but they're talking to her son, who is Pete Rowland, I believe. I believe that's Pete Rowland. Out of the Stephen Newberry case. This is his mom. So there we go. That's what we're
as if it didn't make any difference.
Pete, can that be true, that a death, a murder, didn't make a difference?
It really didn't to me, because I considered thoughts of suicide myself. And I felt like he was me in a way, because he had some of the same beliefs as me, and he was kind of like me. If I cared about myself, I wasn't going to, really care about somebody else that was like me.
And the kid that started it all, the kid that got you involved in this, was the president of your senior class?
Well, yeah.
So the president of his senior class, the class president was Jim Hardy, who was the leader of this like cult or coven or whatever you want to call it. So I mean, it's interesting, but yeah, this is Pete Rowland.
What was so seductive about Satanism? What was so attractive to you? What was the reason that you throw away your life, you stick a knife in your mother's heart in a figurative sense, and literally take a baseball bat to your buddy's head? What is it? Help us.
Again, Geraldo with this, like, I don't even know what you call it. Like, he even caught himself there, but did you see that when he was like, he had to come back and say, like, he caught himself where he had to come back and say, metaphorically speaking, he probably realized that that was not the best thing to say, especially in this. Let's see if we can go back and play that again, because that's fucking hilarious.
Seductive about Satanism. What was so attractive to you? What was the reason that you throw away your life, you stick a knife in your mother's heart in a figurative sense, and literally take a baseball bat to your buddy's head? What is it?
Okay.
Help us. In a figurative sense, and literally take a baseball bat attractive to you. What was the reason that you throw away your life, you stick a knife in your mother's heart in a figurative sense?
See that? He even caught himself because he knew that that was not like the best thing to say right then. But man, Geraldo is famous for this kind of stuff. Like, he just goes off the chain on some of the things that he says, and it's just the most wild thing ever. It's like when we were watching the West Memphis 3 one, and he was holding Stevie Branch's like actual homework, and he read like 3. He got 100% on this. He got a great job on this report. And then he got a star on this report, and now he's dead, like right in front of his parents. It's like, I don't understand this dude. I do, because he's Mockingbird Media, right? And he's looking for the sensationalism. He's looking for what's going to get him ratings and what's going to get him out there. And he's just that piece of shit journalist that will just push everything too far, you know, just so he can maintain at the top of the charts. But I just don't understand that mentality is what I mean. Like, I don't get it. I really don't.
And literally take a baseball bat to your buddy's head. What is it? Help us.
Well, there's curiosity, and just like I said over and over again, it's power.
Yes, 100%.
Just a sense of like a machoism or something. Make me feel big, like a king in a sense, how he'd feel over all his servants.
Pete, how do you feel now?
Well, I really don't feel too good as far as all this, what's happened, but another way I feel better because I'm away from that stuff, and I know that people love me, and I'm a Christian. And
you love him, Mom?
Very much. Nevermore.
And the fact that he's facing a life sentence without a possibility of parole.
Okay, that was weird. Did anyone catch that? Let's see. I don't know why I didn't put the captions on. I usually try to. Anyone catch what she said, though? Maybe it was just like a slip of the tongue, but that was weird. Let's see.
You love him, Mom?
Very much. Nevermore.
And the fact that he's facing a life sentence without a possibility of parole.
Damn it. Why did that turn off? Nevermore. She said nevermore. Like, what? Like I said, maybe it's just a slip of the tongue, right? Like, I'm not saying like there's a grand conspiracy to whatever, but like, it's just weird, right? Like, yeah, exactly. Quoth the Raven. Exactly. It's like, what the hell? I don't know. It was just weird. It was just weird.
You love him, Mom?
Very much. Nevermore.
And the fact that he's facing a life sentence without a possibility of parole. 18 years old.
Well, that's his life. That's what it is. Have no choice.
Sean Sellers from death row in Oklahoma. At least Pete will have the rest of his natural life.
So it is weird
to think about these things. Sean Sellers' life may be cut short.
You guys agree.
By a lethal injection. His story after this break.
We bring you movies, all we show you sports, and fancy clothes. It's worth a looking. We're really cooking. We're Cox Cable.
Man, that is fucking jazzy music.
We bring joy to youngsters' eyes. The best in news and world reviews. We're Cox Cable.
Damn, that is some jazzy music.
It doesn't cost much money. Think about what you get. You get a lot of it. The world's finest entertainment. Right on your TV
100%.
set.
100%.
And we install and we repair. We're working harder because we care. And one more reason, always in season, we're Cox Cable.
Damn.
Dr. Charles R. Johnson, an experienced leader in dental implants.
Okay. I don't know why they're including commercials all of a sudden. This is a little weird.
Give Dr. 84.
Can put you on the fast train to success. Choose a programming, medical assistant, nursing assistant, travel and tourism, career in gear. Call Drawn College.
Our focus from prison, young satanic killers, as you can see. To Pete Rowland, we now
100%.
add Sean Sellers. Sean is the youngest inmate on Oklahoma's death row. He was one of the youngest ever placed in that particular facility.
I gotta say, I completely agree. The Stepford Wives detergent commercial jingle music, I love it. Honestly, that's one of the big reasons why I love Ren and Stimpy, is because they use all of that that fair use, or not fair use. The hell is it? The music and the content you can use without. Anyways, can't think of it. But yeah, all of that copyright free stuff. It's hilarious. I don't know why, and there's something about that aesthetic of just like the Stepford Wives, like everyone is way too happy and everything. Yes, public domain. Thank you, Scott. Thank you. That was driving me nuts. Don't know why I was struggling with that. Been happening a lot lately. Yeah, Ren and Stimpy, absolutely the best. It's weird. It's so fucking weird. And the dude, it's upsetting because the guy that created it, the showrunner, did some weird shit with like a teenage fan, ended up becoming his girlfriend and stuff. And it was like super fucking weird. If it was only him that ever worked on that cartoon, then I definitely would not be a fan of it. But considering there were other people that put tons of effort into that cartoon, I'm still able to enjoy it. Oh, tinfoil. Oh, Freakazoid. My favorite cartoon ever. Absolutely my favorite cartoon ever. Absolutely amazing. Out of all those cartoons, like Pinky and the Brain, Animaniacs and everything, Freakazoid was the best. I highly recommend anyone that's a fan of cartoons, go back and go watch Freakazoid. You can find full episodes on YouTube just for free. Go back and go watch them because they are hilarious.
Sean murdered first a convenience store clerk, then some months later, his own mother and his stepfather in a brutal.
Okay, so here's a question I'm going to propose to everyone. I've been proposing this on several shows before, but I'm going to propose it here again. How many crimes does it take? How many satanic crimes does it take to screw in a light bulb? No, I'm just kidding. How many satanic crimes does it take before the public finally admits that, okay, maybe there actually are Satanists out there that are willing to harm people, and maybe it's actually a problem instead of this whole, like Satanists don't ever harm anybody. They're the most peaceful people on the face of the planet, which is retarded. it's straight retarded to think that for some reason Satanists are the only ones that don't harm children or whatever. You know, it's like this is what's upsetting to me. This is what's upsetting to me about the entire propaganda regarding the satanic panic. How many crimes does it take? You know, it's insane.
Fashion. Here in the studio, we have Tom Wedge. Tom is a police officer. He is a specialist on the occult. He has been a consultant on over 200 satanic-related crimes. He was called, interestingly enough, by Sean Sellers' defense attorney to testify on Sean's behalf to the extent that what Sean did was satanically inspired and was not what has come to be called a threat.
You know what's funny? You know, both the Church of Satan and the Satanic Temple both say on their websites that they don't hurt children. You know, so because their websites say it, it must be true. Because, you know, obviously they say it must be true. There's no reason for them to ever lie, right? Come on. It's just crazy to me. Once again, if you take all of these things separate, nobody denies that child abuse happens. Well, okay, maybe some people do, but largely, nobody denies that child abuse doesn't happen. Nobody denies that Satanists exist in general. Nobody denies that like animal sacrifice happens. There's even a court case. I found this. There's a Supreme Court case where animal sacrifice is technically in this country a protected First Amendment practice under, you know, the right to choose whatever religion you want. So that's interesting. You know, there is a particular religion that likes to kill chickens once a year. They literally scream all of their transgressions into their chicken, and then they kill it brutally. So, you know, you bring all these things up, they exist independently, but then once you put them all together, you put them all into one thing, and all of a sudden you put all of these things that nobody denies that they exist separately, and you put them all together, and all of a sudden you're panicking, and stop it, you're panicking. You know, oh no, I'm panicking. People, I'm panicking. I'm panicked. It's crazy. Speaking of which, I'm working on a new shirt right now. I haven't quite worked out exactly how it's going to look yet, but it's going to say panicked on it, or like I'm panicked or something like that. Like I said, I haven't quite worked it out yet, but it's going to be satanic panic shirts. They're going to be great. They're going to be great. I'm so excited for them. So I'll let you guys know when those come out.
Thrill killing. First, Sean, I wonder if in Pete's story, in his feelings, in his motivation, in the insanity that drove him, this satanic worship, you heard things familiar to you, to what motivated you to commit this triple homicide.
Yeah, I could really relate to Pete just real well. As everything he was saying really hit home with me. There's such an attraction to Satanism in power, curiosity, as he was saying, and even more important is a place to fit in, a need to be wanted by your peers, to fit in where you don't fit in, where you don't fit in anywhere else. And
let me ask you, Sean, you seem so logical, you seem so lucid, you understand apparently so well. Why did you kill your mother? Why did you kill these other two innocent people?
There's no good reason why. There's never is. I can't answer a why. I can tell you what happened in my life that led up to it and what was going through my mind at the time, but that doesn't really present a reason as to why. In Satanism, you learn that good is evil and evil is good. And I was going through a lot of problems. I knew the difference between good and evil.
mean, it's not quite so explicit like that. It's not like, so like when I was a Satanist, it's not quite like that. I mean, I guess he's being, for the sake of conversation, he's probably just trying to like simplify it. But yeah, it wasn't like, oh, bad is good and good is bad. It wasn't quite like that. Now on the opposite side of that, now that I'm, out, right, exactly, the reconciliation of opposites, 100%. On the outside of it, being away from it and everything, I mean, it that is what it is, basically. Do what thou wilt, like ultimate hedonism, this sort of thing. It is true, like that is what Satanism is, whether you call yourself a Satanist or not. Like, hedonism is Satanism all the way. If it feels good, just do it, doesn't matter. This is like the ultimate law of it, which is why I don't genuinely believe that this is maybe the reason why people don't understand Satanism, is because that law of do what thou wilt overtakes any rule where they say don't harm children. Now, granted, that doesn't mean like all Satanists want to harm children. Like that doesn't mean that. What it does mean is the people that are Satanists that get a kick out of hurting children, they're going to justify it through their belief system, period. So, I mean, even though on their website it says they don't harm children, they can get away with it because they justify it through their ultimate hedonism, because it makes them feel good.
As Pete was saying, but I began to question good and evil. I began to ask, why is stealing evil? The Satanic Bible says that we are survival of the fittest. And if I steal from a person, then that means...
Yeah, same as Catholic priests, happens in every group. Exactly, because these monsters are able to twist everything the way in which they need it. Which is, once again, to go back to your previous comment, the reconciliation of opposites. That's exactly what this is. So, I mean, I can't put it any better way. It really is just this, the reconciliation of opposites.
I am more craftier, or I am quicker or more cunning than this person, so why shouldn't I not steal? Why is killing wrong? I knew killing was wrong. I knew stealing was wrong, but I couldn't find a reason for it. Everything that I had learned in Satanism, everything that I'd learned through my life, and every time I looked at society and saw how everyone treated everyone else out there, I saw the ideals of Satanism. And so I had to believe that evil was good and good was evil.
Do you, in the sense of the law, Sean, feel responsible for those 3 murders?
There is no one else responsible but I. It was my life. I got involved in Satanism, and a lot of things that led to that may have caused me to commit these murders, but I am still the one responsible. I am still the one that will have to pay the price. I am still the one that has to live with it day by day. I have to live with the nightmares of killing my parents. I have to live with the thoughts of killing an innocent man for absolutely no reason whatsoever, and it's my responsibility and mine alone.
The state of Oklahoma has said that because of what you did, your life, Sean, teenager though you may be, is forfeit. You are condemned to die.
Right.
Do you feel they should take into account your bizarre affliction, the Satanism?
Yeah, I think they should, but it boils down to I'm the one responsible. See, Satanism took from Pete his life, and it's given me death. And that's all that Satanism is going to lead to. And although I wish they would look at the case, look at what was going on in my mind, look at the person that I am now, and the work that I am doing now, trying to reach out and make a difference in other people's lives, it's still my responsibility, and it's something I'm going to have to live or die with, however.
You think Geraldo's stab your mother in the heart, metaphorically, was meant for this guy? Yeah, probably. I mean, man, I'm so glad I was able to show you guys that, because like, I think I'm probably going to go back and cut that clip out, just because, man, if that doesn't describe Geraldo on just like who he is as a person, you know, like, and right, you know, the fact that he hasn't said some dumb shit to him like that, I'm actually genuinely surprised. I am genuinely surprised that he hasn't said dumb shit like that yet.
They plead. I ask for mercy, but it's up to them as to what they will decide.
Let me be a cynic. Let me be not a devil's advocate, an angel's advocate, perhaps. Let me say that sure, Sean Sell.
Okay, so as far as the guy that Geraldo is talking to right now, I don't know if that guy has been executed. As far as I know, let's see, where was... Okay, so Stephen Newberry, let's see, how old is this? This is 2022. So this is fucking wild, okay? Check this out. I actually had this brought up. Oops, wrong one. Nobody wants to see my face that big. Nope, also wrong one. We'll just go back here. Damn. Okay, here we go. So we will just do this. There we go. Final member of trio that killed CJ teen released. So out of all three guys that brutally beat to death Stephen Newberry, all three kids, now men, are out. They are out. So, in fact, this is only a minute and 8 seconds. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick.
The state is releasing the last of 3 men convicted of a 1987 Carl Junction murder.
Whoa. Okay. No, don't jump ahead.
From prison is releasing the last of 3 men convicted of a 1987 Carl Junction murder from prison. James Hardy was released from the Missouri Department of Corrections just before 8:30 this morning. Hardy, along with Ronald Clements and Pete Rowland, were all convicted of beating their classmate Stephen Newberry to death with a baseball bat.
Yeah, just for the record, we actually haven't gone through the whole story itself yet, but when they say brutally beat him, that is almost kind of an understatement. They beat this kid to death with baseball bats. They beat him, or they hit him over 70 times in the head, mind you. His head was mush. So I hate to kind of be graphic about that, but it's what it is. Yeah, they brutally beat him is an understatement in my opinion. They hit him 70 times. Yeah, a completely unwarranted violence. I completely agree. And other than the fact that Jim Hardy was just so, like, he was so charismatic to a degree, the same way that Damien Eccles is charismatic. Like, Jason Baldwin was infatuated with Damien, and I think still is. Like, Damien just has this control over him, and at least to the 2 other guys in the group, that's the exact same way that Jim Hardy was able to control both of these guys. Like, there was just something about Jim Hardy and the way he was able to control these other 2 that just Oh, yes. Yes, 100%. Right. And you know what's funny about this is, other than the fact that it's true, is, I mean, how was, like, Jason so, how did, I don't I don't understand. Like, how was Jason so infatuated with him? I can't think of a better way to put it. But Jason just, like, loved Damien, for lack of a better way to describe it. He just, I don't know what it was. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. See, Dana, you weren't here for yesterday's show, so I got to show you this. This is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, in my opinion. Let me pull this up real quick. I didn't have this pulled up because I did this on yesterday's show. But along with, let's see here. I'm just going to have to save it. Along with that whole seminar that Damien Eccles was selling, the sword in the way or whatever, he's also selling something else. And I think people really, really need to pay attention to this. But Damien is also selling karate lessons. So people need to make sure and go sign up for his karate lessons. He's a martial artist, by the way. Just thought that was fucking funny. And I agree. He is such a fucking loser. It's just, it's astounding how much of a fucking loser he is. It's crazy. And the fact that people still take him seriously, like I'm surprised he doesn't like get like beat up on a regular basis. Right. Damien wishes he had sick moves like that guy. I agree. Oh, that's funny.
In 1987, they were 17 at the time. The three were sentenced to life in prison without parole, but the Supreme Court ruled in 2012 that juveniles could not receive life in prison without parole, and the 2006.
Whoa. What was that? What the fuck was that?
Without parole, and a 2016 ruling that said that applied to the three were sentenced to life in prison without parole, but the Supreme Court ruled in 2012 that juveniles could not receive life in prison without parole.
Okay, so in 2012, the Supreme Court said juveniles can't receive life in prison without parole. Why? That, I need to make a note of that. I need to go look into that case. That seems wild to me. Okay, Supreme Court case, juveniles, no life sentences. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. That's wild. Okay, so these three got released because of that ruling?
And a 2016 ruling that said that applied to past cases. Clements was...
Oh, shit. Interesting. What do you want to bet? I'm going to say this right now, right on stream. I'm going to bet right now. What do you want to bet the Innocence Project has something to do with this? I'm going to claim it right now. I bet they have something to do with this. That's interesting.
Was released from prison on February 11th, 2021, and Roland in August 12th of last year. We reached out to Newberry's mother, Marlis Horn, who says she wants the three men to be given a fair opportunity and doesn't want people to treat them any differently. She said she also doesn't.
Okay, so Stephen Newberry's mom said this. Okay.
Want her son to be forgotten, adding one of her favorite memories about him was the last Father's Day he was alive. He told her as a single mom, "Happy Father's Day, Mom. You're the best father I ever had," end quote.
Okay. Interesting.
You're looking at warm temperatures.
That, wow. I'm not quite sure what to think of all of that. Okay, so yeah, these guys are out. Okay. 2012 Supreme Court ruling determined that juveniles couldn't receive life in prison without parole. Okay, well then leave them in life and then give them an option for parole because they still committed the fucking crime. Okay, and then 2016 ruling said that this applied to past cases. Interesting. Clemens was released from prison on February 11th, 2021. And Roland was released August 12th, 2021. Newberry's mother. Well, Merrill's, maybe your kid shouldn't have beat his friend's skull into mashed potato. Yeah, exactly. Hide your kids, hide your wife. Wow, that's fucking wild. That is just so wild. I don't know what to think of that. Cobra Kai never dies. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Oh, that's funny. I don't really think a minor should be given life at all, actually, not without some kind of hope. Honestly, I just think it depends on what they do. I think a child is entirely capable of receiving life in prison, depending on what they do. For instance, I was totally fine with the conviction that Jesse Miskelly, Jason Baldwin, and Damien Eccles received. Although Damien was 18 at the time, the other two weren't. I was totally okay with the sentence that they received. You know? A 14-year-old boy was given life. Well, maybe he was 9. They changed the laws then. Interesting. Eccles is Steven Seagal's love child. Yeah, well, they definitely have the same amount of talent. That's for sure. I wonder if Michael Wayne Hutchinson gets called Michael Moore by mistake. There's no serial killers that never leave the house. Maybe thieves killed DoorDash to steal to go to the club. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, it just says release. They were released, so I mean, okay. They can't. Okay, so without looking into the actual Supreme Court ruling, I assume it says that they can't receive life without the possibility of parole, but that doesn't mean that they can't receive life with the possibility of parole. That's crazy to me, though, because they still committed the murder. And unfortunately, I don't think that there's much news footage from back when it actually happened, and so it's kind of hard to go back. But I mean, these kids at the time were entirely they were entirely like they had no remorse for what they did. So I don't know. I'm talking about like 9 and 10-year-olds that have been in prison for a lifetime. That has happened, right? Okay, I mean, I think there maybe could be an argument for that. That's interesting. I would have to think through that one. Once again, I still think it kind of depends on what they do. So like, for instance, she was a bit older. I think she was 12 at the time, but there was that girl. Maybe we should cover her on here, but there was that girl that killed her friend. It was like the Slender Man murders or whatever. And that girl, holy hell, I don't ever want that girl walking on the streets. In fact, she actually had a parole hearing recently. And she is the most evil son of a bitch I have ever seen. It's crazy. It is crazy. So, you know, some kids genuinely, I believe, are born evil, and this is one of those kids. So I don't know. Once again, just like our legal system in general, like it kind of has to just be taken by a case-by-case basis. So to say that no kid ever could receive life without the possibility of parole, I think it's too far in one direction. And to say that, you know, if a 9 or a 10-year-old commits a crime that is requiring that an adult would receive life without the possibility of parole, I don't know. I don't know. It's really complicated. So I'm going to have to think through that one a bit more. Let's see, Richard Ramirez was literally real life Eraserhead. No kidding. Some people will end up acting this stuff out, some earlier than others. It's a dangerous precedent. I agree. Yeah, I completely agree with that. Right. Right. I know exactly what case you're talking about. That's interesting. Definitely depends on the crime. Mary Bell walks free now, so right. Right. Yeah, now there's definitely been some interesting cases like that. Let's see. Yeah, Damien will just block everyone because he's a weak, soft, fucking Pillsbury Doughboy piece of shit. Like, he wants all the attention in the world, but only if it's good attention, because he can't handle pushback. You know, if he was any sort of a man, he would have just like ignored us. Just been like, whatever, you know? But he's not. He's a weak little boy. Anybody that says anything to him whatsoever, I'm sure he doesn't want to hear, will be blocked immediately. Yeah, no, that's exactly what happens. That's actually why, like, one of the reasons I was debating on whether I should say anything to him, largely why I didn't say anything up to this point, because I didn't want to be blocked. But I want to talk shit to him is the problem. I want to talk shit to him, and I want him to see it. On tomorrow's show, I will be going over the blog post that he wrote about Dana and I. So that should be interesting. That should be really interesting. Anyways, let's get back to this Geraldo thing so we can try and get through it.
Is redeemed now. Sure, Sean Sellers recognizes the diabolical nature of his deed. Sure.
Yeah, who are the two teenage girls who killed their one best friend? Those girls need to be in prison forever. Yeah, so they're if we're talking about the same case, it was the Slender Man murder. And holy hell, yeah, those girls need to be locked up forever. Yeah, Pillsbury Doughboy ninja looking ass. Exactly. Like those girls, they have got to be locked up forever. So yeah, I agree with you. I think, at least thinking about this on like a surface level, there should be an opportunity for children, especially when they're super young. There should be an opportunity for children to not receive life without the possibility of parole. Maybe it should just be an automatic, like they get the opportunity at parole, I don't know, but to swing as far as the Supreme Court did in that case, man, that's wrong in my opinion. That's bad call.
Feel sorry that he murdered 3 people, including his natural mother, his stepfather. Sure, because he's facing death on death row in Oklahoma. Why should we believe that you're sincere now, sir?
I could be the biggest con man you ever knew, and you don't have to believe I'm sincere, but you just look at the things that I'm doing now. Look at my life now. See who the person I am now. Look at my past before Satanism. Look at the person that I was in school and the person that I was before I got involved in the occult, and compare the two.
Okay. This makes me happy. So Dana says, as the queen of trolling the Satanists, trust me, he'll have a harem of thought Tinas monitoring your posts. He will see them. Bring the smoke. Fuck yeah. Because guess what? And I said this after he blocked both of us, that I will call him a convicted child murderer to his face anytime, any place. I don't give a shit. I am never going to not call him. In fact, once again, Damien, you are a convicted child murderer, an occultist, and a Pillsbury Doughboy looking ass. God, can't stand him. This is good to know, though. Good. As long as I'm on his radar. Because I ain't stopping with this West Memphis 3 stuff. He's guilty as shit, and he needs to be remembered as such.
And see what Satanism did to my life and how it changed me, and take that into account. Look at everything under that context, and you'll see what Satanism is all about and what it can do to people's lives. And I think that should be some mitigating evidence in my case, and Pete's, and other people who get involved.
Should we, Tom Wedge, take those things into account? Should we?
Well, Sean knows where I stand. As a Christian, he knows where I stand on capital punishment. That's
another argument, sir.
As I shared with Sean in Oklahoma, I said, Sean, if you die by lethal injection, as a Christian, absent from the body, present with the Lord. So, whichever way it goes, the thing is that Sean has nothing to lose now. So, I don't see him coming across as playing a game on Christianity and so forth. And one thing that
Let me ask you more specifically.
All right.
I want to move away from your deeply held, sincere religious beliefs. I want you to talk to me as a cop now.
All right.
Why is this man a satanic killer rather than a thrill killer?
Because the simple fact is, when Sean went there, as in my book, The Satan Hunter, the first chapter deals with the entire story. When Sean went there, he worshiped before an altar there in his home. He worshiped at his altar. He went through blood sacrifices, eating, drinking his own blood, writing in his blood. He went there with one thing in mind, and that was to kill the Circle K convenience store clerk, because he had broken every one of the 10 commandments except thou shalt not commit murder. No money was taken. Absolutely no money was taken in that crime. And just as Pete's mother here, Sean's mother was searching as well, but there was nobody. That's why your program, I felt, was so important, because the church has fumbled the ball. the Christians has fumbled the ball. These people are searching and looking, like this lady said right here.
I appreciate that, but he killed his mother.
Right. And he's got to suffer the consequences for it.
Let's take a break.
Metallica died with Cliff Burton. Just gonna say that. Everything after Cliff Burton fucking sucks.
Here's your butter, Henry.
More commercials. Great. What the fuck is this?
Half the calories of butter or margarine.
Half what, Henry? My goodness, she's half your age. Put those eyes back on your toast where they belong, Henry.
Next time, butter your bread with Philly instead.
Only Sunkist children's multivitamins have the delicious Sunkist fruit taste kids love.
Let's see.
Plus great.
Calgon water softener. Let's see what happened.
Geraldo. We'll be back in a moment.
Win a fabulous BMW convertible instantly from Allergan. See details on special Allergan contact lens care packages featuring the instant win game. There's more. Rolex watches, Panasonic car phones. Anyone can win. Redeem 5 Allergan Impact Game cards.
For special savings on selected Allergan products.
So stock up
look
now.
at that fucking
Find
car.
Allergan products at these...
Flavors as full as the tropical sun. Mixed berry, strawberry orange, apricot mango,
God, what
red
is this,
raspberry,
porno?
and of course there's pineapple. Or enjoy it just as you find it
Sure,
at your nearest Brahms ice cream and dairy store.
Wrong.
Well, we took him to the hospital.
Look at this. It says, Lucifer, my master. And it has the inverted
100%
cross. Leviathan, Lucifer, Satan.
Sean did the same with the discovery that I got before the trial. Sean had written in his own blood, he had made pacts with Satan in his own blood. Sean had mutilated himself and was using his blood for that. He got a job working at a clinic where he would take hypodermic needles and withdraw his blood from his body. Also took anticoagulants, and he wrote in his writings to others, "Don't eat or drink my blood," because he didn't know if it would be harmful. But Sean wrote the same type of pacts, made the same pacts with Satan, writing them in his own blood.
How far did it get in your son's case, Randy?
I guess the most I recognized was when he had a fascination for razor blades. I never ever caught him carving himself up, but I caught him just prior to doing that, and he told me at a later time that that was the night he was contemplating suicide.
Did you ever look your son in the eyes and say, "Kevin, we love you. Kevin, we don't understand this. What's going on?"
Yes, we did.
Kevin, we love you. Get the fuck out of here, Geraldo. You don't love shit. Except for your own ass. Like, he just rubs me the wrong way. Like, does he just like irritate anybody else? Like fundamentally?
We come from middle-class America, mid-America. Very close family, very loving, touchy-feely, very Christian.
Whoa. How touchy-feely? Because that could be a crime if it's too touchy-feely.
And it was very frustrating because we lost contact with him. We couldn't communicate with him.
I want you to get a piece of paper and a pencil. In 2 minutes, we're going to be broadcasting some very critical warning signs for you parents watching. Please get a piece of paper and a pencil. We'll be right back.
For free tickets to Geraldo, please write Geraldo, Times Square Station, Post Office Box 684, New York, New York, 10108. Please send a self-addressed stamped envelope or call 212-265-1283.
This little mousie has a Kraft single slice made from 5 ounces of milk. But this mousie has an imitation slice that's mostly oil and water. That's why Kraft singles taste better. Milk makes them better.
Dieters' needs are different, so Accutrim developed 3 different formulas. I need all the help I can get. Accutrim Maximum Strength. I snack after 3 p.m. Late Day Strength. I'm hungry from morning till night. 16-hour. Accutrim. One is made for you.
I'm going to be there day early.
Morning, it's me.
Yeah, how's Mama doing? She okay?
It's already happening. People calling long distance with 1 free month of U.S. Sprint.
Market isn't open till coast to coast today. It's midnight here. We're just shutting down.
Call
Oh
Sprint
man,
now.
back when
Get
long
1 free
distance was
month
actually
plus
a
the best
thing.
savings versus AT&T. This is
So wild.
Parents, warning signs that might indicate a child's drift towards Satanism include abrupt emotional changes, changes in school habits, rejection of parental values.
Okay, those things are so vague. I mean, it could literally be anything. Like, what? Oh my God, that's crazy. I'm not saying that those aren't signs of getting into Satanism, but to say that those are the warning signs of your teenager getting into Satanism is so stupid. Any parents watching this, don't believe that.
Unusual interest in books on Satanism, black magic, or witchcraft.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. But that's not inherently true. Okay. Once again, this one bothers me. Obsession with rock music groups using satanic symbols or references. Okay. Once again, just because you like heavy metal or any of the subgenres does not mean that you're a Satanist. I am still a metalhead through and through. There's a lot of bands that use satanic or dark imagery. And that's never what got me into Satanism. I would say the books are far more dangerous than music ever. Like, the books are far more dangerous than any of the music ever. Like, I don't know. That's just crazy. Still harping on that. You can be into metal music without being a Satanist. It's just crazy.
Obsession with rock music groups using satanic symbols or references. Rejection of friends, preference for being alone, meditation, chanting, use of new vocabulary.
Okay, rejection of friends. Okay, I don't know. I rejected a bunch of my friends because, a lot of my friends were doing things that, I wasn't into anymore, And the thing is people can grow apart from each other. So that's kind of ridiculous. Preference for being alone. I always preferred to be alone. Well, I won't say prefer. Well, no. Yeah. There's a lot of times. I mean, for the longest time before I met my wife and everything, I would always take myself out on dates. I'd go try new restaurants. I'd go to the movie theater by myself. Like, I spent a lot of time with myself. I learned how to love myself, So it's like, that's ridiculous. So preference for being alone. I mean, what? That's okay. Whatever. Meditation, chanting, use of new vocabulary, like somebody else pointed out in the chat. Like, yeah, a new vocabulary. What the fuck? So because I decide to up my vocabulary, that means I'm into Satanism. Get the fuck out of here. What?
Geraldo. We'll be back in a moment.
Also, I like how he told all the parents to get a notepad and write this down real quick. And it's just picture a bunch of moms just like writing down. It's just I don't know. It's just, I don't know.
The little creamery in Brenham sure is big on taste. That's the reason Bluebell ice cream keeps on natural
Bluebell,
as can be. The country is
Success.
fast train.
The new fast training and the shortest.
Me, get this RCA remote TV so you can sit back, relax, and kick your feet up like Jim.
Like me?
Oh, like me. Or if you got 16 grandchildren like Jim.
Speak for yourself.
Hey, like me. This camcorder can take the grandchildren for the whole family's enjoyment.
I'm family. What about my enjoyment?
With an RCA.
Okay.
Catch the RCA sale
Jim
at Jim
and
and
Mary's.
Mary's, both locations.
Hell yeah, Jim and Mary's.
It's Beautyco's big beauty care sale. Yes, at Beautyco, you can have it all. That's right. All the professional products that make you look and feel great every day. All the beauty secrets, the new ideas today that make tomorrow's styles, and trained beauty consultants to help you find just the right look for you. All this and all of Big Beautyco savings. At Beautyco, you can have it all. Be beautiful every day, the Beautyco way. Come to Beautyco today.
Our focus has been from prison via satellite, young satanic killers. Dr. Nyberg, your Penny or your Lori or your Randy, parents, and you see your kid really slipping into some of the things that we just warned them about, the heavy metal, the dope, different friends, the graffiti. What do you do?
There are a number of different places that are available in the community to get help.
Be specific, let's say.
School counselors who are now becoming more and more aware of the problem and getting referral sources. Local clergy people, especially those with pastoral counseling backgrounds. The local police youth officers around the country are now getting.
I had a friend's mom who whose mom heard that if we were on drugs, we'd lose our appetite. So she always brought a lot of food. We always had the munchies from smoking weed when she came home. Hell yeah. That's fucking awesome. Oh, man.
Together and identifying the resources that they can make in terms of referrals. The local mental health agencies and places like the Cult Awareness Network, which is a national organization that is devoted solely.
The Cult Awareness Network. I don't know if people should be paying attention to these fucking people either, so fucking watch out for those fucking people.
To identifying and helping in getting the assistance that these people need.
Pete, I want to ask you the same question, buddy. You're, in a perverse sense, the real expert, you and Sean. What advice do you give to a parent whose kid is falling, as you did, into the clutches of this demonic stuff?
Show them that you really care about them. Show them love. And that they're needed and they definitely belong in the family. That there's somebody. Just always show them that you're behind them.
Sean, same question.
Okay, I agree with that. I mean, yeah, you should definitely show your kids that you love them and that they belong. I agree, you know. Like, anyone who thinks otherwise is a fucking monster.
Question, what do you do? You're a parent now, and it's your kid who's getting involved in this devil worshiping stuff.
Well, Pete and the professor gave some really good information to parents. I want to talk to the Christian body out there right now. A lot of reasons the kids get involved in Satanism is because they see hypocrisy in the Christian church. If people are not standing up for their beliefs, then there's no reason to join in on those beliefs. It is very imperative that those who know Christ, those who are Christians, stand up for what they believe in. Get rid of the sin in our lives, get rid of the hypocrisy in our churches and stuff, start meeting the needs of the people around us, start reaching out in love and in compassion.
Okay, this is probably the smartest thing I've heard on this. I mean, I'll be honest, that was one of the reasons I left or stopped going to church was the hypocrisy. So, you know, he's not wrong. That's not what drove me to Satanism, but that is what got me to That is what the hypocrisy in the church is what drove me away from the church. So, you know, he is right there. Exactly. Exactly. Oops.
Passion and start doing what we're told to be done. I have a friend in Vancouver who just got saved about a week ago. He was a Satanist for 3 years, and the reason it was so hard to get him to come to Christ is because of all the hypocrisy around. Right now, Shay wants to be a soldier for Jesus Christ, wants to be a warrior for Christ. That's the kind of attitude we need. If people who know Christ will stand up for him and show the compassion to the people around him, then there will be less of an incentive to get involved in Satanism.
Okay, there are the variety of services available. Sean, obviously, now deeply felt religious beliefs. Dr. Nyberg, more avenues for those who are not born-again Christians, the mental health community, school counselors. Who, Kevin, do you talk to?
Mostly my psychiatrist, my doctor. I mean, I'm not on dad.
How do you feel?
Good.
You think you have a handle on it?
Yeah, sometimes I just lose it, but they help me.
I wish that you could feel the love that we feel for you. We all want to be in your corner. We all want to help you. I mean, that's the devil worship stuff is no place. It's the fool's game. I mean, you're a good kid, so smart and good looking. I mean, the world is at your doorstep. I mean, come on. I'm going to bring you back next year for a follow-up success story. We'll be right back.
Some toys come with their own sound effects. Elmer's glue doesn't. Some toys are ready to go at the flip of a switch. With Elmer's glue, some assembly is required. With some toys, kids just use their hands. But with Elmer's Glue All and Elmer's School Glue, kids use their imagination too. So,
you know what I used Elmer's glue for? My mohawk. Back when I had a mohawk, Elmer's glue was great. Water soluble, non-toxic. You can just rinse it out with water. It took a minute, but nonetheless, Elmer's glue for a mohawk. Yeah, that shit is awesome.
Instead of just zapping aliens, your kids could also be creating them. Elmer's, we let the imagination take hold.
Schultz Body and Frame Shop at 3811 North Tulsa is your foreign, domestic, and Toyota specialist. Today's automobiles are so specialized that wouldn't still be in business if we didn't take extra special care with your car. We do frame work for everyone. We open at 7:30 a.m., and many women and men have learned to trust the...
Okay. Schultz.
Job injuries. They're painful and expensive. Medical bills, lost income, and if serious, could you return to your job or work again? Although the Lauder and Pitts law firm hopes you never suffer a job injury, attorneys Mike Lauder and Jamie Pitts have written an easy-to-understand booklet showing you what to do and your benefits experienced.
You'll never have a better opportunity than right now at the Trust House Jewelers to save 30 to 50% off during our anniversary sale.
Of emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and the finest anyway. That's Trust House Jewelers, 7800.
Stupid thing to fucking buy.
For transcripts, please send $3 to Journal Graphics.
Again, I still think this is one of the coolest fucking things his show ever did. You used to be able to send $3 and get transcripts of entire shows. That is fucking cool. That is so cool. I wish I could still do that because I would. There's several episodes of his show that I would love to get the transcripts for.
Go Transcripts, 267 Broadway, New York, New York, 10007. Or call 212-227-READ.
Lori, we heard the various options that are available, but in your case, in your hometown in the Midwest, there was nothing, was there?
Well, not really. We had Kevin in the hospital for 4 weeks, but it wasn't real successful. And Randy and I kind of got angry, but they kind of blamed us. There was a parental problem. We were told not to mention it, that it didn't exist.
Please, 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 folks, don't blame yourself. Seek help. Hopefully, after the special, more of these programs, people will be hip to the fact that this is out there, that it exists. Tom, let me just... the book is The Satan Hunter by Thomas Wedge. It's a daring book. Please call the Cult Awareness Network if you think you have a problem. We'll flash the number right after these credits. Pete, Sean,
there
good
it
luck
is
to
again.
you guys.
Cult Awareness
Thank you
Network.
for coming forward, giving your message, Kevin, and all of you. Thank you very much.
Services have been furnished to the Geraldo Show in exchange for these announcements. Hotel accommodations in New York City provided by the Omni Park Central in Manhattan, near Carnegie Hall, Central Park, and Broadway theaters. Call 800-THE-OMNI or 212-484-3300.
That's interesting.
It reaches out, grabs the story by the throat, and
Oh.
doesn't let go until
Cult
you know
Awareness
everything.
Network.
A Current
Oh,
Affair,
no.
weeknights at 6:30,
Oh,
only
no.
on Channel 4.
The gavel falls at noon today for the special session. Good morning, I'm Tammy Payne in the news. And coming up at noon, a live report from the state capitol where teachers are supporting the governor's tax plan. And it's
going all out
for less. You cannot buy them for less. First come 160.
Damn, look at that table.
You can 4 chairs.
I remember
Regular
that table.
$169.95. This
I
week
want
only
that table.
$89.95. You cannot store.
Oh, God. Old Folgers.
Today at 4:30, only on Channel 4.
The Cosby Show. Oh,
Dead
man.
in a light plane crash. I'm Mary Alice Williams. Mississippi Congressman Larkin Smith is dead in a light plane crash in his home state. The plane was found in a forest 12 hours after it disappeared. Forensics experts are in Ethiopia waiting to identify the bodies from the plane crash that took the life of Texas Congressman.
Well, that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to read a little bit here, or I'm going to read a little bit here. Yes, the Clintons did it. That is a good rule of thumb. So I am going to read a little bit here. This is from, once again, this is Abomination right there. Abomination, William Ramsey's book regarding the West Memphis 3. In there, towards the back, he has a couple of different sections, like the history of witchcraft, the occult basis for the murders, witches and witch hunts, satanic killers, celebrity killers, pro and con, just a few different things like this. And let's see here. So I'm going to read a couple of things. So on the screen, this, yeah, the Geraldo Awareness Network. That's funny. So on the screen, this is Stephen Newberry, for anyone who's curious. So let's see here. So we've got just a couple of pages I'm going to read through real quick, and then we'll move on to a couple of other quick things, and then we'll get out of here. We're reaching the end for today's show. Why me, you guys? Why me? Stephen Newberry asked his former friends as they bludgeoned him to death with baseball bats. Because it's fun, Steve, came the reply from the darkness. It didn't take long for the police in Carl Junction, Missouri, to follow rumors and whispers to the perpetrators. Asked why they committed the brutal and pointless crime, Jim Hardy, Pete Rowland, and Ron Clemens, they said they did it partly out of curiosity, partly because of their faith in Satan. The rumors of Jim Hardy's sadism and occultism swirled around the city of Carl Junction for years. He had threatened to kill his father in one of his rages. He visited libraries with his blood brother, Ron Clemens, to read every book on Satanism and witchcraft they could find. They repeated demonic chants and drew pentagrams in notebooks and on buildings. His practice of Satanism included self-mutilation. He also frequently tortured and killed small animals, returning now and then to worship near their decomposing bodies by playing heavy metal music and chanting prayers. He had a preference for killing kittens. Sick bastard. Occasionally, other youths joined in the rituals, but eventually a core group developed, consisting of the defendant, James Hardy, Pete Rowland, and Ronald Clemens, who also joined in the Newberry murder. Jim Hardy often preached Satanism to younger students at school. Quote, I would kind of just pray to God and Satan at the same time to see who was more powerful. And, little by little, I fell out of God and started falling into Satan. You can't just dabble. It sucks you in real quick. They believed Satan could give them what they wanted, power. Both agreed that Satan ruled the world. Jim and Ron frequented local forests to listen to Slayer, smoke dope, and kill animals. Satan is my lord, Jim Hardy proclaimed. Ron changed his name to Alex, after the central character, Alex DeLarge of A Clockwork Orange, in April 1987. Ron Clemens and his mother attended Ozark Mental Health Center, where he told the counselor he was consumed with violent thoughts. The social worker noted the teenager's interest in Satanism and the occult. Jim Hardy met another boy, Pete Rowland. They shared a love for torturing animals. What a weird fucking thing to share. Like, wow. Wow, that's like, why are you guys friends? Oh, we just love torturing animals together. You know, it's normal. Not. They shared a love for torturing animals. After their killing sprees, the woods around Jasper County were littered with carcasses of dead animals. Okay, trigger warning for anybody that has problems with animal stuff. Just saying this right now. One day, they burned a dog alive in an abandoned dryer. That, quote, that dog was running around inside, and it's the first time I ever heard a dog scream. It sounded just like a human screaming, Rowland said. Independently, Jim Hardy, Pete Rowland, and Rod Clemens began hearing voices in their heads, commanding them to do evil. Quote, one night, Jim became convinced that Satan was wrenching his soul from his body. He was so frightened that he climbed into bed with his dismayed parents. He was 17. Just watch me during the night while I sleep, he asked, and wake me up if it looks like I'm having any trouble. Although his parents were puzzled, Jim made no secret of the voice at school. He told classmates who teased him about his invisible friend that it was no figment of his imagination. The friend, unbidden, would appear and make him do things, Jim said. When one girl asked Jim if it was true that he had sacrificed cats, he said yes, that he liked to taste the blood because it was sweet. What about dogs, she asked. Their blood was just as good. What about humans? Haven't got to them yet, Jim replied. Jim, Ron, and Pete would wear their scariest clothes to the indoor mall in Joplin and shout, Satan loves you, to frighten shoppers. Fucking, oh my Lord. Jim Hardy signed junior yearbooks with "In Satan's Name We Pray." Strangely committed Satanist, Hardy became student council president and stated openly that his life would not be complete until he killed someone. They looked for a suitable victim and found one in overweight outsider Stephen Newberry. They planned to commit the crime on Halloween. Stephen Newberry's mother suspected something was amiss and decided to take her 4 children out of town that weekend. Their plot to kill was open and notorious. Other students heard them discussing their desire to kill Newberry in the school lunchroom. With the 3 teens still stalking Steve Newberry, Jim Hardy invited him to go kill some animals in the woods over the Thanksgiving Day weekend. This would be the 3rd attempt to kill Steve in a month. The plot referred to by Jim as the action. While they did not follow through with their plan to kill Steve, they did find a suitable location, an abandoned well they called the Well of Hell. On December 6th, 1987, all the teens revisited the Well of Hell, where they beat Steve to death with baseball bats. After it was over, Jim Hardy stood over his dying body and said, "Sacrifice to Satan." They then bound his hands with twine, weighted his body with a 200-pound stone, and dropped him into the well. They cleaned the area as much as possible and hid the bats in nearby brush. Schoolmate Lance Owens had gone to Pete Rowland's house the morning after the killing for a ride to school, and Pete told him all about the murder. In art class, Jim Hardy also excitedly told Lance, "We did it. We did it." Steve Newberry's youngest sister, 14-year-old Christina, called her mother from school that afternoon with disturbing news. 3 friends of hers had overheard Jim Hardy and Pete Rowland laughing in the hall. They bragged about stabbing an overweight person to death. All 3 teens were arrested the next day. One of the officers noted that the accused teens exhibited no remorse. At Pete Rowland's trial, Dr. Carl Raschke, get the fuck out of here. Dr. Carl Raschke, okay, the person that wrote Painted Black. Right. Author of Painted Black testified on the subject of Satanism. I don't have that book in here. Anyways. Jim Hardy, Pete Rowland, and Ronald Clemens received life imprisonment for the murder of Steve Newberry. By Detective Mike Rudolph's court, a dozen or more students had heard the killers make reference to human sacrifice before Steve died. And some had even heard Steve Newberry mentioned by name. Ray Dykins said, quote, "It was right under a lot of people's noses. Eventually, evidentiary, and nobody noticed it. Or, if they did, nobody took it seriously." A few investigators remain convinced that there is more to the slaying than just the death of Steve Newberry. Dozens of adults around Jasper County related to authorities bizarre occurrences they hadn't considered reporting until after the killing. Naked people chanting in the woods, dog heads hanging from cave entrances, kids in robes killing animals in an old schoolhouse, a slaughtered rabbit on a front porch with die written in blood, piles of skinned dogs with their hearts cut out, satanic graffiti everywhere. The Hardy Boys, the Hardy Boy murders reek of a networked satanic coven. From his cell, Jim Hardy wrote Pete Rowland a letter recently and admitted that Satan had tricked him. I don't even know why we killed Steve, he says now. It was like any other animal we killed. Jim never did feel the surge of power he thought Satan had promised him in exchange for the ultimate proof. Not long ago, the voice came back, the one that told him to do it now. Softly, he repeats the words he insists Satan whispered inside his troubled young mind. Just open the door once, and I promise I'll never let you go. Like, that's crazy. So, all around Jasper County, there was like all of these instances of like cult activity happening, right? There were just like all of these instances of crime happening all over the city, and none of these people thought of like reporting any of them until after Stephen Newberry was murdered. Let's see here. No. Okay. Man, it's weird too, because this is okay. So the reason I wanted to focus, God, he still looks like a piece of shit. That's James Hardy. This is him, I guess, in 2014. Yeah, had to have been 2014 because this article is written in 2016. So holy shit. Like this dude. Okay? James Hardy. Man. Still looks like a piece of shit. Camden County, Missouri. So here's why I wanted to kind of focus on this case too, is because this seems just like the West Memphis 3 all over again. There's 3 boys. They murder somebody. And it's in the same area. There's claims of cult activity throughout the whole town. I mean, it's in Missouri, which is in, right outside of Joplin. Not that far from West Memphis. You know, for all we know, this could be like the same cult network. That's crazy. That is crazy. Let's see. Let's see. So I think we're going to save this. This is a pretty long article. There's a lot of detail in here. Okay, so it does, down here, it does talk about like the Supreme Court and all of that stuff. So I think, yeah, we're going to save this one for the next episode. or at least the next time we talk about this. Next time we talk about this case. Let's see here. And there's a lot of different, so it's actually kind of hard to find oh geez. Okay, so sorry, I'm like reading and trying to talk at the same time. Oh wow. This is like an actual, oh, please tell me this link is not dead. Okay, I don't care if it's not a secure connection. Oh! What the fuck? Let's see if this is on the way back. So it's actually kind of hard to find. It's actually kind of hard to find actual links and stories and stuff from back then, from back in the 80s. Let's see. Come on. Please let this be there. Damn it. This is one thing I hate about the internet, man. It's like there's so much that's been memory hold and so many things that just disappear. And, you know, for somebody like me who researches this stuff, it's a fucking nightmare. It is a fucking nightmare because, like, finding a video, for instance, like, okay, right here. So I'm looking at this article. We're definitely covering this article, by the way. Right here, video, watch KOAM news, weather and sports. So there's a video that took place at this local news station that covered this. This would be amazing to cover for right now. But that link is dead. It doesn't exist anymore. It's not there. And it looks like there is literally no URL in the Wayback Machine from that. So I have to rely on YouTube. Get the fuck out of here. Let's see. I mean, we can try. Might as well try. But have to rely on YouTube, the fucking censorship alley, to see. Okay, so that's there. News. Let's do Steve. See. Stephen Newberry. Stephen Newberry. Yeah, no. KOAM is still broadcasting, obviously, but it's all new stuff. Some old stories about yeah, there's some like old stories about tornadoes and stuff, some car wrecks. Yeah, nothing new. Nothing new. So, you know what? Like right now, like I love being alive in this time period. You know, it's really great, honestly. But there's things about nowadays, the technology and stuff that just fucking sucks. And this is one of them. It's having to rely on, let's see, is this anything? No. This is just, I don't know, one of those things that just really fucking sucks. So Yeah, this is wild. Anyways, if anyone out there finds anything related to this case that's not an article, I've found tons of articles. Feel free to send it my way. Feel free. Let's see. So there is lots of other stuff here. So this looks like I guarantee this goes to the same thing. Like the West Memphis 3, man. It's, yep. See? Boom. 404. Fucking sucks. Yeah. This looks like a hell of an article. This looks great. So yeah. We're definitely going to use this article. But once again, this is a huge article. So we're gonna wait on that. See, I am gonna make sure and save it though. Okay. Anywhere near Independence, Missouri? I'll be honest, I have no idea. I have no idea. Rashke talks about them, right? And that was one of the big reasons I started recommending that book, is because it does cover this case. I had no idea that Rashke did get called to testify about the whole thing, so that's incredibly interesting. Had no idea. Let's see here. Students jailed in cult sacrifice show no remorse. Let's see, we can close that. Let's see, gonna start cleaning this up so we can get out of here. But I do find this case incredibly interesting because this is like overtly satanic. You know, and let's see, students. Oh, this is weird. This is from Korea Regional News. What the fuck? Okay, check this out. See, sorry, just cleaning some stuff up here before we get out of here. We're winding down for the night. Let's see. Yeah, I think this is weird. So Korea Regional News, UPI or whatever, UPI Archives. Let's see. Carl Junction, Missouri was technically where this was. Let's see. A high school's senior class president and two classmates charged with killing another student by bashing his skull in a possible cult sacrifice have stayed cool in jail and shown no remorse, authorities say. About 100 high school students joined 300 other residents, who poured into Emmanuel Lutheran Church in nearby Joplin Thursday for the funeral of Stephen Brian Newberry, 19, who was slain Sunday and pitched into a 10-foot deep abandoned well with the carcasses of 2 squirrels and a cat near the Kansas state line. So if that gives context to anybody, I don't know Missouri, never been there. Newberry, his body weighed with a rock, was found Tuesday by police acting on a tip, and his 3 classmates were at the 680 student Carl Junction High School. Then were charged with murdering the youth who was described as a slow learner. Oh, that makes it even worse. He was probably a kid with autism, just wanted some fucking friends, and they fucking murdered him. Oh, that makes it so much worse. Ronald Clements, James Hardy, and Theron Rowland, all 17 and residents of the Carl Junction area, were being held in $100,000 bond each at the Jasper County Jail. Hardy is an honor roll student and senior class president. See, this is crazy. That makes this story so odd to me. There's very clearly something else going on with this case. Let's see. They were cool. Received many telephone calls. The deputy, let's see. From people reporting that they knew of devil worship and cult activities around the town. Right. So check that out. Right there. The deputies said investigators believe all those involved in the killing have been charged, but added, we're still investigating rumors of the cult-like activity in this area. Wonder if I could file to do like a FOIA request to get all of those files. I would be really curious to know what those police were able to come up with. I bet it's really interesting. Let's see. Raymond Dykins, principal of Carl Junction High School, dismissed the cult worship theory as a rumor. Yeah, maybe because the principal of the fucking high school is involved. I don't know. That just seems... No, it's just a rumor. How would you fucking know? How would you fucking know? See, do you think Jesus is going to come down that spiral I used to buy the best Red Rock stuff there in the 90s? Probably not. Let's see here. So, okay, Raymond Dykins, I assume that's how you say his last name. I don't think there's any connection with that at all, he said, refusing comment on the jailed student's behavior during school hours. Okay, so he'll comment about the cult thing? That's fucking weird. I told you, maybe this dude's involved, or was involved. I assume he's passed away now, but so he's like, no, there's no connection with any of that. They're not connected. This is an isolated incident. Those are the people I worry about. Straight up. Those are the people I worry about. True detective. Let's see. Investigators believe Newberry was killed before he was thrown into the well. He suffered 40 to 50 blows to the head. It's not what the police document said. It said 70. Rashkey also said 70. This says 40 to 50. Either way, I mean, that is excessive. And the baseball bats were found near the well. To elaborate, possible motive. We have to try these boys, and they still have constitutional rights. That's true. It's going to be brought out in the hearing in order to see that they get a fair trial. I think that is the best, that we don't get into that area. A first-degree murder conviction in Missouri carries a possible death sentence. The state last executed a death row inmate in 1965. Damn. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that is really odd about the principal. So the principal says that it's not. Okay, I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm going to end up posting that. Because that's fucking weird, man. That is fucking weird. Let's see. New. Oh, damn it. Let's see. Let's do this. Let's see. There's a rumor. Okay, here we go. Okay. Take that screenshot. Save as. Sketchy principle. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's weird, man. That is super weird. It's super, super weird. Let's see. There's one last one I wanted to get to. Let's see. So, Satanic Panic in Missouri. It never really left. St. Louis. The 1980s and 90s mark an era of satanic panic in American history. Let's see. Fix this a little bit. So we're going to read this. This is going to be the last thing we get to. Then we're going to get out of here for the night. We're almost at 3 hours. So, but at the very least, we'll have gotten to the Stephen Newberry case finally. So yeah, the 1980s and 1990s mark an era of satanic panic in American history. This article defines satanic panic as a phenomena that overtook society when satanic abuse against children and other members of society was introduced. It was not introduced then, but it was at the forefront of everyone's mind, that's for sure. Teachers, government officials, and therapists were implanting false memories while attempting to protect these victims. What the fuck? Here we go. Okay. These recovered memories were usually the result of hours of counseling. The restored memories were frequently graphic accounts of ritual satanic abuse. Okay. Here's a major issue with this whole fucking theory, okay? If that was the case, if there were literally teachers, government officials, and therapists implanting false memories, which has never been proven to actually be able to happen in the first place, okay? If that was the case, and that was proven, where was the rash of therapists, teachers, and government officials being fired, losing their jobs, and them ending up in prison for doing this? Because you can't tell me that implanting false memories to accuse all these other people, these people in power, in positions of authority, implanting false memories of really graphic satanic ritual abuse in the minds of mostly children. Hundreds of children, thousands of children all across the country. Thousands of children. That there was, therapists doing this, okay? So either way, you either believe that satanic ritual abuse is real, or you believe a conspiracy theory that there were therapists, that there was a network of therapists implanting fake memories in people's minds. What sounds more likely, that Satanists would actually harm children, or that therapists, there's a network of therapists implanting fake fucking memories in people all across the country? What sounds more fucking likely? Get the fuck out of here. This makes me so angry. But where are all those people in prison for doing this? I don't know if I can make it through this article. This is going to raise my blood pressure. Missouri was not immune to the panic. Satanic panic, on the other hand, has never fully recovered. Okay, yeah, since this is going to be a satanic panic is fake kind of article, I think we're going to cut it here. We're going to cut it right at 3 hours. This is where we're starting next episode. This is where we're going to start it. So let's go ahead. So first and foremost, rest in peace, Stephen Newberry. Because, man, that is really messed up what happened to him. And, man, it's really sad. It is really, really sad. And it should have never happened. Should have never happened. You know, not even sure what to say about that, honestly. But yeah, rest in peace, Stephen Newberry. I mean, he was killed by Satanists, blatantly, you know? Like, you couldn't be any more killed by Satanists if you fucking tried, you know? Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Let's see. Sorry, just cleaning up some things here. There we go. Yeah, seriously though, you couldn't be killed by Satanists any more than if you tried. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's real and it's global, 100%. And all the victims say the same things, right? I mean, there's things that vary here and there, but for the most part, it's all the same. It's literally all the same. You know, like, I don't know what to think of it most of the time, you know? These people just think, like I said, either way, you believe in a conspiracy. You either believe in the conspiracy of like Satanists going out and actually causing harm and abusing people, or you believe in the conspiracy that there were therapists networking and telling other therapists and coordinating all at the same time. There were therapists coordinating to implant false memories of Satanists abusing people. So either way, on either side, you believe in a fucking conspiracy. So this whole claim of conspiracy theory, ooh, conspiracy, it's so bad. You're a conspiracy theorist because you believe in Satanists. If you don't, you still believe in a conspiracy. So don't sit there and try to wag your finger at me and try to tell me I'm bad because I believe that the Satanists actually do harm people. And it's not just Satanist, right? It's not just Satanist. Child abusers come in all shapes and forms and sizes and colors and creeds and backgrounds. Hell, they come in multiple ages. They come in very old people. They come in children. Children will sexually abuse children. You know, it's just crazy. Now, regarding the satanic ritual abuse, like I said, either way, you still believe in a conspiracy. You either believe the conspiracy that the Satanists do it, or you believe that therapists coordinate to implant false memories. Conspiracy either way. And I agree, Huggy Bear. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. But on that note, we are going to get out of here for the evening. So I want to thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Rise to Liberty. Honestly, I couldn't do this without you guys. You guys truly mean the world to me. And so one of the best ways that you can help out is by going to the master link in the episode description, which is allmylinks.com/rise to liberty. There you will find my main, most active platforms, donate and subscribe platforms, so other social media and backup accounts, my audio platforms, and my contact info. You will find everything there. One of the absolute best ways to help out what I'm doing is to send a donation. Send a donation or buy some merch. I am 100% listener and viewer funded, flat out. I don't take money from big people. I don't take money from corporations and all of these other things. Even if I did, I would be honest about where that comes from, though. However, this is a way that you can make sure to absolutely help fund directly me. So, also, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee. I need as much caffeine as possible to keep this thing going. You can also donate over on Ko-Fi. You can donate a one-time donation as low as $5 or a monthly recurring donation. Like I said, as little as $5. You can donate directly to PayPal or to Cash App. I also accept Bitcoin, Monero, Litecoin, all of these other things. If you want to donate crypto, get a hold of me before you do so. Other than that, one of the best ways that you can help out is by going over to risetoliberty.store and picking out some sweet merch. We still have our 15% off sale going right now. All you have to do is go to risetoliberty.store. Oh, Cash App link is 404. Interesting. Go check that out. Weird. Interesting. I wonder why that is. Thank you so much for letting me know, Huggy Bear. I will get that fixed tonight. However, let's see. So, sorry, just so my Cash App is still $Rise to Liberty. So I will get the Cash App link fixed tonight. So thank you so much for the heads up, though. That is good to know. These are the things that, I partially rely on you guys for because, it's really hard to stay on top of all this stuff all the time. So thank you so much for the heads up. Anyways, go over to risetoliberty.store, pick out a piece of sweet merch. We have all sorts of things at all sorts of price points. Everything is top quality, absolutely the best. Yes, of course. I think you're the one that hit me with the Ko-Fi donation yesterday. I appreciate that very much. So yes, I appreciate that very much. Special shout out to you, Huggy Bear. You are great. I always see you in the chat, always contributing to the show. And honestly, that's partially what I do this for. I really do it for you guys. You guys mean the world to me. So thank you. Everything is top quality over here. So head on over, except for the water bottles. For some reason, it won't let me remove those. But these water bottles, you cannot buy them for some reason. I'm not sure why it won't let me remove them. I think I have to remove the whole listing, which is multiple different things. So maybe I'll just redo it. Anyways, head on over to risetoliberty.store, use promo code CONTROL and get 15% off your order. And on that, I understand that not everyone can help donate. Times are tough. Maybe you don't quite have all the money. I'm not going to pressure that on you. I understand. So if that is the case, the best thing you can do is hit the like, share, subscribe, follow, all of these things. These are the ways that you help grow the show. This is what helps more than almost anything. Of course, cash is nice, and it does help. It directly goes into the show. I almost don't really take anything for myself because I put everything I have into this show. all my time, effort, energy, money. It all goes into the show, which I do for you guys. So, but nonetheless, the best thing that you can do is help grow the show. So hit the like, share, subscribe, follow, cut up the show, share it with people, email it, share it on social media, hit like on my social media posts, do all the things, get it out there. Leave a comment after the stream. The fact that you guys comment during the stream helps so much. You guys have no idea. These are the things that are going to grow the channel and get it out there to more people, which is exactly what we want. So, once again, thank you all for tuning in to another episode of Rise to Liberty. Tomorrow will be our next show, normal Friday show. I'm not 100% sure exactly what we are talking about tomorrow, but I'm late, but I hit the like. Awesome. Thanks, Rage. But yeah, tomorrow's show, this will be our next show, will be Friday, tomorrow. I'm going to say it's going to be 6 p.m. Mountain instead of 5:30. It's going to be 6 p.m. Mountain, 6, so 8 p.m. Eastern. 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern will be, excuse me. I apologize for that. 6 p.m. Mountain, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is the next show. And on that note, until next time, stay free, my friends.